What I found is a lot of people are pretty good at putting money into their 401k, but when it comes to actually pulling money out when you retire, there's a lot of questions that are left unanswered. Hi, I'm John Scriffany, Regional Vice President with Florida Financial Advisors. And in this video, I'm going to debunk how to take money out of your 401k in a sustainable fashion. Today, we're going to cover three main ideas. The first is one of the most important questions to answer when planning for retirement. What is my income gap? The second is going to be the three bucket approach. And the third is going to be different distribution strategies we can use to fulfill the gap. So first, what is an income gap? Income gap is a very simple equation. It's your living expenses in retirement minus any fixed income you'd receive, which equals your income gap, or how much money you need to pull from your 401k, brokerage account, or IRA to cover what you need to cover. When it comes to the fixed income component of income gap, there's a couple different things that come into play. Social Security is one of them. One big player in fulfilling that gap between your living expenses and how much money you're taking out is going to be Social Security. The second is any rental income. If you have a rental property that's generating income, that can also contribute positively to fulfilling your gap. A third would be a pension. A lot of folks today maybe don't have a pension like they used to, but if you do have a pension from the military or your company, that is also a powerful player in filling your income gap if it operates on a monthly income basis. The last one would be if you purchased an annuity. Those also provide guaranteed income, so that would be able to fill your income gap as well. Now, if you take your living expenses and you subtract all your sources of fixed income and there's still money left over, that is going to create a problem. And that problem is you need to find a way to fulfill that gap using your savings. Now, that brings me to my next point, which is the three bucket strategy or the three bucket approach. The three bucket approach basically divvies up your money to make sure that when you invest, you're cognizant of the income gap and you don't invest in a way that threatens the sustainability of your portfolio. The first bucket is the liquidity bucket. That's going to be cash, money market. Those are going to be funds that are immediately available to you to cover big purchases, emergencies, and anything that pops up. The liquidity bucket, that's money that you're able to have right away, like a savings account. Second bucket is going to be your income bucket. Now, when you're working, your income bucket is your salary. Any living expenses that aren't covered by fixed income that you have would be covered by the income from your job. However, when you retire, that salary goes away, so that income bucket needs to be replaced with your investments. The last bucket is going to be the targeted growth bucket. When you're working, this bucket is easy. It's just your 401k, it's your brokerage account, it's your investments. That's money that's just designed to grow. What happens when people retire is suddenly their 401k is stuck doing two jobs at once. It's that targeted growth bucket where it's continuing to appreciate, but it's also the income bucket where it needs to replace your salary. And if you don't have a good plan to split up your 401k effectively, that's where people run into trouble. Last section I'm going to go over here is going to be how to position your assets in the income bucket and targeted growth bucket. How you start is you take your income gap and you multiply it by 25. That's going to show you how much money you need inside of your income bucket. So inside of that income bucket, there's three different strategies that you can use to replace your salary sustainably. The 4% rule, sequence of returns, and the retirement carve-out. 4% rule is the simplest. You simply take what your income gap is, you multiply it by 25, and that is how much you need to set aside to fulfill the 4% rule. Then what you do is you take 4% from that bucket of money and adjust for inflation each and every single year. The problem with the 4% rule is it can be a little bit inconsistent if you get really terrible market performance. Second way that you can fulfill the income bucket is through sequence of returns. That's where you split up your portfolio. A portion is conservative and a portion is aggressive. If the market is up, you can pull from the aggressive side. If the market is down, you're going to want to give the aggressive side a chance to recover, and you would pull from the conservative piece. Using the sequence of returns, you're able to get a higher probability of success in most cases compared to that 4% rule. Now, the last strategy is the retirement carve-out. That's where you can use different vehicles and investments to generate a guaranteed income stream so that you can use the rest of your money in the targeted growth bucket. Today, we covered income gap and why it's the most important question to answer when it comes to retirement planning. We also covered the 3-bucket approach, why it's important to have a plan with each one of your dollars as you approach retirement. And the last is the distribution strategies, how you can divvy up assets in your income bucket to make sure that you're not caught with your pants down in retirement and run out of money. If you're a retirement planning guru and you already knew all this, or everything made sense immediately, consider subscribing. If you're looking for guidance on which strategy will be the best fit for you, consider having a meeting with Florida Financial Advisors. We'd be happy to help and make sure that your money lasts at least as long as you do. And if you ever want to connect with our team here at Florida Financial Advisors, you can find us on our website at www.floridafa.com.
This content is for informational purposes only and should not be considered investment advice. All investments involve risk, including loss of principal. Past performance is not indicative of future results.